Morning students, I am here with a new video of the chapter electric potential and capacitance. So students, in this video we are going to see what are dielectrics and their polarization. What are dielectrics and how dielectrics polarize. What is the role of dielectrics in electrostatics? The role of dielectric in electrostatics is very important. As you know, presence of a dielectric medium always affect the value of the force, or you can say value of the electrostatic force acting between two charges. Electric field, value of the electric field. Presence of a dielectric can affect value of the potential, and presence of dielectric medium between plates of a capacitor increases capacitance, and presence of a dielectric medium changes the value of electric flux even passing through a surface. So first of all, question arises, what are dielectrics? So dielectrics are basically insulators which can be polarized through a small localized displacement of its charges. Whenever a dielectric medium is placed, suppose there is a dielectric slab placed in an electric field. Existing electric field in the region is, suppose, in the direction left to right, applied with the help of these two plates, positive plate and this is negative plate. Existing electric field is this. In a dielectric medium, the molecules of the medium either they polarize in the presence of the electric field if they are initially non-polar in nature, or they can be initially polarized without application of the electric field and they align according to the direction of the existing electric field. In both the ways, the presence of the dielectric medium going to affect the value of the electric field. So what happens when a dielectric slab is placed in an electric field? The molecules of the electric medium they align according to direction of the electric field. Negative charge centers of all the molecules align towards positive plate of the field, and positive charge centers align towards negative plate. This is because of a force of attraction acting between opposite charges. And what happens? Inside the dielectric medium, there is going to be an induced electric field, suppose E dash. So if we calculate the net value of the electric field in this region, it's going to be E net is equal to existing electric field E minus induced electric field in the dielectric medium. So in this way, presence of the dielectric medium decreases the value of the electric field in that region. Now, what are the types of dielectrics? So dielectrics are basically of two types: polar dielectrics and non-polar dielectrics. In polar dielectrics, the positive and negative charge centers of their molecule do not coincide with each other. The positive charge center is here. Suppose this is a dielectric molecule, positive charge center, negative charge center, and there is going to be certain dipole moment of this molecule. So examples of polar dielectrics are HCl, NH3, carbon monoxide, etc. Second type of dielectric is non-polar dielectric. If the molecule of dielectric having two charge centers, positive and negative, but charge centers of the molecule coincide with each other, means positive charge center of the molecule and negative charge center of the molecule, they are remaining at the same place, and this molecule has no electric dipole moment initially. That is why this dielectric is called non-polar dielectric. Means molecule of the non-polar dielectric is not remaining in the state of polarization, And examples of non-polar dielectrics are basically diatomic gases, H2N2O2, carbon dioxide, CS4, etc. These are the examples of non-polar dielectrics. Students, see in this part of the video, any type of dielectric when placed in external electric field, the dielectric going to polarize, whether it is polar dielectric or non-polar dielectric. If the dielectric is polar dielectric, its molecule align themselves according to direction of the external electric field. Here you can see molecules of dipole, they align, their negative charge centers are aligned towards left. Suppose direction of the existing or applied external electric field is in the direction left to right. All the negative charge centers align towards left. All the positive charge centers align towards right. And this dielectric slab whose area of cross section is A, area of cross section of this face, and thickness of the dielectric slab is D. What is polarization density of the dielectric medium or dielectric slab? The polarization density of the dielectric is defined as induced dipole moment developed per unit volume of the dielectric when placed in an external electric field is called polarization density. It means dipole moment of this dielectric slab. What is the induced dipole moment? If surface charge density of the dielectric slab is sigma equals Q divided by A, where Q is charge acquired or induced on the left face of the slab or at the right face of the slab. So what going to be the polarization density? P is equal to dipole moment of the slab divided by volume of the dielectric slab. What going to be the dipole moment? Charge multiplied by separation between positive charge and negative charge. Q multiplied by D divided by volume of the dielectric slab. If dielectric slab is in the form of rectangular slab, its volume is going to be area of cross section multiplied by distance D. So D cancel out and polarization density of this dielectric is going to be charge developed on either face of the slab divided by its area. So in this way we can define polarization density as charge induced per unit area of the dielectric slab. This is polarization density. Students, if we assign a direction to this quantity, that is polarization density, what is going to be the direction of this polarization vector? So this quantity is called polarization vector. So P can be written in the direction negative charge induced along the slab towards positive. So P is also called polarization vector of the dielectric. Polarization vector is actually dipole moment acquired by the dielectric slab per unit volume in the presence of external electric field is defined as polarization vector of the dielectric slab. So, students, let us see a new topic of this chapter, discharging action of sharp points or corona discharge. So students, don't be afraid of this term. It has nothing to do with the coronavirus. This is just a term, corona discharge. What is corona discharge? Suppose we have a conductor of a spherical shape. Charge given to the spherical shape conductor is Q. So what is surface charge density of the spherical conductor? Is going to be charge given Q divided by surface area, that is 4 pi r square. But suppose that conductor is having a pointed tip. In that condition, what happens? The radius of curvature of the conductor at the pointed tip is very less or very small, and charge density of the charges near the conductor becomes very high. Then what happens? Due to high charge density near the tip of the conductor, the air molecules in contact with the tip, they get ionized. Suppose this tip of the conductor is having positive charge. This tip ionizes the molecule of the air. Means this charge from the tip of the conductor is leaked to the molecule of the air. Now molecule having similar nature of charge gets repelled and moves away from it. The second molecule of air comes to the tip, acquires positive charge, again moves, third molecule, fourth molecule, fifth molecule, and this process continues till the tip of the conductor is capable of ionizing the air molecules, and a wind of moving air molecules starts moving away from the tip of the conductor, and this is called electric wind. And this phenomena of leakage of electric charge from the tip of a conductor is called corona discharge. What is called? Corona discharge. This action is called discharging action of the sharp points, and it has very important application in designing of a device that is not in your syllabus directly in CBSE syllabus. Few years back it was removed from the syllabus, but how it works and how this device is designed, you should know. The name of that device is Van de Graaff generator. So we are going to see what is Van de Graaff generator and how it works. You should see what is the collecting action of a hollow conductor. Suppose there are two conductors in the spherical form. A smaller spherical conductor is with radius small r inside, the larger conducting sphere surrounding the smaller sphere with radius capital R, and amount of charge on the larger sphere is plus capital Q. Amount of charge on the smaller sphere is plus small q. What going to be the total potential on the outer sphere? The total potential on the surface of outer sphere is going to be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R, potential on its surface due to its own charge, plus potential due to charge on the inner sphere. So what will be the total potential on the surface of larger sphere? This. Now, what is the total potential on the surface of a smaller sphere? That going to be potential on its surface due to its own charge, that is this charge, minus Q divided by R, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by R. Sorry, potential on the surface of a smaller sphere is going to be sum of the potential due to its own charge and potential on the surface of larger sphere. As we know that inside a hollow sphere, at any point potential is going to be equal to the potential due to charge on its surface. So potential at any point of the smaller sphere is going to be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught capital Q divided by R, and this is potential due to its own charge. What will be the potential difference between two spheres? If their common center is O, the potential difference between two is V small r minus V capital R, and this is the potential difference. So students, if you see, if both the spheres are having positive charges, the potential on the surface of larger sphere is always going to be less than potential on the surface of smaller sphere. In this condition, if two spheres are connected through a conducting wire, whatever charge is there on the surface of a smaller sphere, that is going to flow to the surface of the larger sphere. This is called collecting action of a hollow conductor, and this concept is used in designing of Van de Graaff generator. Students, see what is Van de Graaff generator. So by its name, it's not a generator or ordinary generator that we use to generate electricity. This is electrostatic generator. It uses static charges to produce a potential difference of about 10 to power 7 volts, a very high potential difference between two ends, and this high potential difference is used to accelerate the charged particles. So this instrument is basically used as particle accelerator. Remember, particle accelerator. What are the principles on which its working is based? It works on the principle of, first, as I have discussed earlier in this video, discharging action of sharp points, and second, collecting action of hollow conductors. A hollow conductor can collect the amount of charge given to another conductor that is kept inside the hollow conductor. So working principle of this Van de Graaff generator is based on these two principles. So students, see, this is the design of Van de Graaff generator. Van de Graaff generator consists of two insulating pillars. These two are the pillars. There is a metallic hollow dome is placed over the pillars or supported over the pillars. P1 and P2. These P1 and P2 are two pulleys. Pulleys are used to move the rubber belt. These rubber belt. A rubber belt moves due to motion of the pulleys up and down like this. There is comb, metallic comb. Metallic comb C1 is called spray comb. The function of this comb is to spray positive charges towards the rubber belt when it is connected to a high tension battery. Function of high tension battery is to provide positive charges to be sprayed towards the belt. Comb C2 is called collector comb. Its function is to collect the positive charges moving along with the belt by the phenomena of induction between comb and the charges reaching towards it. Then this is called particle gun. If a charged particle or the charged ion is kept here, due to high potential difference between two ends of the device, they can be accelerated with a very high kinetic energy of high speed towards a target to be hit. Let's just see how this instrument works. When this instrument is started, initially suppose there is no charge on the hollow spherical dome. As this device is started, the belt starts moving up from this side and moves down from the other side. The positive charges is sprayed from the tip of the spray comb. They stick on the surface of rubber belt, as rubber is an insulating material. So these charges stick on the surface of rubber belt, and these charges start moving upward along with the rubber belt. As soon as these positive charges reach near comb C2, there are going to be induction of negative charge at the tip of this comb C2, and these positive charges transferred to the comb C2, and from there they move to the metallic tube. Till this device operates, more and more charges are being sprayed by the spray comb, and they are getting collected by the collector comb and transferred to the metallic dome. So that charge on the surface of, or amount of positive charge on the surface of this spherical dome keeps on increasing. And we know if radius of this metallic dome is suppose r, the potential on its surface is going to be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught charge q divided by r. R remaining constant. As value of q is increasing, it acquires a very high potential on the surface of this metallic dome, and there is no potential towards bottom of this device. So whenever a charged particle is placed here, due to this high potential difference, the potential energy of the charged particle is going to be charge of the particle multiplied by potential difference, that is V, and this charged particle can be accelerated with a high velocity towards the target. So in this way this device operates, and after some time there is going to be potential on the surface of metallic dome, that is of the order of 10 to the power 7 volt. So in this way this device generates a very high potential difference. Now what are the uses of this device? So as we know, high energy particles are used in many places. These particles are used to trigger nuclear reactions, so that this device can be used to start some nuclear reaction by high energy particles accelerated through this device. Second use of this device is beams of high energy particles are used for the treatment of cancer also. Third use is accelerated charged particles are used in variety of experiments in atomic physics. These are the important applications of this device. So what are the limitations of this device? Limitations of the device are this device cannot be used to accelerate neutral particles like neutrons. There are many reactions which can be started or which can take place by the high energy neutrons, for example nuclear fission, but this device cannot be used to accelerate neutral particles like neutrons. This is its limitation. So with this video, students, we have reached towards the end of this unit 1 as well as end of chapter 2 of electrostatics. From next video, we are going to start current electricity.